Yo, what's going on, buddy? This is Dylan Talk Sports. My name is Dylan. In today's video, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be making my 2024 Men's March Madness bracket. I'm going to be going through kind of picking every single team that I think is going to win. Now, I do want to go and say this first things first right here. For any of you that are going to be saying, why would you pick this team? Why would you pick this team? Why this? Why that? Blah, blah, blah. There's never been a person to ever get the entire bracket right. So for anybody out there that's going to be like, you're stupid for picking this team to win the title. You're stupid for picking this team to get to the Elite 8, the Sweet 16, to win a first round game. Whatever it may be, no one's ever gotten it all right. So if you think, oh, I'm stupid for picking a game for whatever reason, you're going to get some teams wrong. Just want to say that now. This is not going to be a perfect bracket by any means. Now, if it is a perfect bracket and I somehow get every single team right, that's awesome. But I know I'm not going to get every single team or every single game prediction right. But we're going to kind of go through it and have some fun with it. So without further ado, if you're going to enjoy it, as always, make sure you're going to drop a like onto this video. Be very much appreciative if you do so. But without further ado, let's get into it. All right, first up, let's start off with the South region. Let's go ahead and start off. We got Houston and Longwood. I think this is a very easy pick. I think Houston's going to win this game. If Longwood somehow won this game, I would be shocked. Let's move on. We got Nebraska and Texas A&M. Nebraska is a really good team. They showed up in the Big Ten tournament. Texas A&M, though, everybody's saying Texas A&M is like a dogfight type team. They want to just take it to you. I'm going to trust the judgment from what I've seen from some of the experts and say Texas A&M is going to win that game, though. Next up, we got Wisconsin and James Madison. This is where we're going to get a little bit of an upset. I think James Madison can rout Wisconsin. For the people out there that are going to be like, why the hell would you pick a 12 seed to beat a 5 seed? There's been upsets a lot of times, and 12 seeds against 5 seeds actually don't do that bad. I can realistically see James Madison beating Wisconsin. Wisconsin, they got good shooters. They've been in the NIT. I think last year they were in the NIT. This year they're back in the tournament. So Wisconsin's still kind of on this like upward trajectory. They're a 5 seed this year. They got a good stretch of wins there. Their resume's looking good. But I think James Madison's got too much for them. Next up, we got Duke and Vermont. Duke, like, there's no other way to say it. You have to beat Vermont. We got Texas Tech and NC State. Two very good teams. This will be a good matchup. I think this is going to be one of those games where it's going to go down to the last second. But I do think, realistically, I think Texas Tech is going to win the game. I wouldn't be shocked if North Carolina State wins, though. I wouldn't be shocked if North Carolina State win. But do I pick Texas Tech? You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go with my heart here. There's times with these picks where, like, you have to just go with your heart. You got to go with your gut. You got to go with your heart. You can't just go off of, well, this team's seeded higher. I'm going to pick this team. Well, this team's favored by Vegas. I'm going to pick this team. Yeah, I'm going with NC State. Next up, we got Kentucky and Oakland. Kentucky, they're going to win this game. Florida against Boise State or Colorado, I believe, are the two teams there. But I think Florida's going to win either. Whichever team wins, it's going to be Florida beating that team. And the last team here, we got Marquette and Western Kentucky. I think Marquette is going to be able to take care of business there. Western Kentucky, they had a good team this year, but I think Marquette's got a really good team this year. Moving over to the Eastern region, we got UConn and Stetson. UConn, please, for the love of God, if you lose this game, this might be worse than the last couple of #1 seeds to lose. Purdue to FDU. And then I believe it was Virginia against USMC or something like that. I forget what the name of the team was, but this would be so much worse than those two. We got FAU and Northwestern. This will actually be a good matchup. Northwestern, I didn't see them being this good this year. FAU, obviously last year they had their historic run to all the way to the Final Four and etc. Northwestern, though, like I said, they have a good team, but I think FAU is going to be able to take care of business there. San Diego State and UAB. There's a part of me that says I want to take UAB, but I think San Diego State is too good of a team. I think San Diego State is going to be able to beat that team. We got Auburn and Yale. This will be a fun matchup because Yale is looking like a real lethal team this year, and Auburn, they just won the SEC championship team or tournament. I'm going to go with my gut here and say Auburn will win that game. They're going to take care of business. Yale is a good team, though. Would I be shocked if they won it? A little bit, but I think Auburn can win that game. Next up, we got BYU and Duquesne, I think is how you say it. I think BYU will win that game. I'm taking a lot of favorites to win this tournament or win this region, I know, but we're going to get into some different matchups where we go into here. This is where we're going to change some things up. I think Morehead State could shock the world, and they can beat Illinois. Illinois looked a little bit rough in the Big Ten tournament. They had a couple of games where they looked like especially the Ohio State game, they looked like they should have lost that game, and then as we went to the tournament, it was like every single game was close. There wasn't a game where it was like, man, you beat the hell out of that team. Especially in the regular season. There was a couple of games where it was like, man, you could have demolished this team. What the fuck's going on? And I think when they play Morehead State, they're going to end up looking at this team and be like, oh man, 3-4-14, we're going to easily steamroll them. And Morehead State's going to be coming into this game saying, we want to play. Next up, we got Washington State and Drake. Washington State's going to be a good team. I think they can get this win. They're going to be able to get a dub. Drake is going to be a good team. They're going to make that game close, though. Drake's going to make the game close. Iowa State and South Dakota State. Iowa State is a thumping squad. They took down, I believe, Houston in the Big 12 championship game. They're going to be able to take care of business. South Dakota State, they're going to make it interesting, though. They're going to make it interesting, but Iowa State's going to take care of business. Next up, we got the Midwest region. We got Purdue. I guess I'm not even going to, I think it's Mountain State and then like Grambling. But Purdue, they're going to beat either team. Whichever team comes out of there, it's going to be Purdue winning that game. We got Utah State and TCU, two very good teams. I think Utah State's going to have the upper edge there, though. We got Gonzaga and McNeese. Gonzaga, I think, will be able to get the win there. McNeese, they're going to put up, I don't know what McNeese is. They look like a team that could make this game close, but they also look like a team that could just go out there in the first half and lay down within the first 10 minutes and Gonzaga just run over them. We got Kansas and Samford. Samford football team, bad. Basketball team, pretty good. But I think Kansas is too much for them. We got South Carolina and Oregon. Oregon, I think, is actually going to get this win. Oregon is going to be able to take down South Carolina. We got Creighton and Akron. Akron, how the fuck did you even get to this tournament? You guys should have lost to Kent State, but the Kent State defender, for whatever reason, decided to foul the guy. But you got in, good job. But I think Creighton's going to make your Cinderella story end immediately. You ain't going anywhere after this. We got Texas versus, I think it's Virginia or Colorado State. Surprisingly enough, here's what I'll say. If it's Virginia, Texas is losing. If it's Colorado State, Texas is winning. That's kind of where I am. I'm going to go with my gut here on a two-parter and say Virginia will beat Colorado State, and then Virginia, again, will then beat Texas. I think that's how it's going to go. And then we have a Cinderella from a couple years ago, St. Peter's. No more Dougie. No more Doug. He went to Bryant University. He's not with St. Peter's anymore. That whole Cinderella is gone. But St. Peter's did make it back to the tournament. The Peacocks are back. Could they make a run? It's going to be tough. Could they beat Tennessee? I really don't think so. Tennessee is a good-ass team this year. I think Tennessee is not going to just put their guard down and be like, oh, hey, 15C, man, we're so scared of them. No, they know what St. Peter's did a couple years ago, and they're not going to let it happen again. Tennessee's going to win. And then over in the West Conference, let's go and speed run some of these. We got North Carolina winning no matter who wins that game. Mississippi State and Michigan State, this will be two good teams. Surprisingly, I think Michigan State can actually win this game. I think Mississippi State and Michigan State will be a good battle. I'm predicting the winner gets max 55 points. It'll be a good game, though. We got St. Mary's and Grand Canyon. A lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, are saying, do not sleep on Grand Canyon. That's all I need to hear to pick them to win. Alabama and Charleston. Alabama, I think they're going to be able to handle that win. They're going to win by that game by at least 15 points. Clemson and New Mexico. New Mexico, people have been saying, is actually a really, really good team. I want to pick New Mexico to win that game. I really want to pick them to win that game. I'm going to play it safe. I think Clemson will win that game. Baylor and Colgate. Colgate, for some reason, people were saying actually can win this game. I don't see how. I really don't. But I'm going to go with the vibe, and I'm going to say fuck that vibe, and I'm going to say Baylor's going to win the game. Dayton and Nevada. I want to pick Nevada. I really do. But a lot of the guys they had a couple years ago, I think it was like 4 or 5 years ago, back whenever they made their good run, they're not there anymore. Dayton is going to win this game. And then we'll finish off Arizona and Long Beach State. I think Arizona is going to get that win. All right, we got the round of 32. We got Houston and Texas A&M. Like I said, it's going to be a bloody knuckle battle. I think Houston, though, can get that win. Texas A&M, they're going to fight hard. They're going to make it interesting. But Houston's going to get the Sweet 16. Now, we got James Madison and Duke. Do I proclaim James Madison being a Cinderella? Do the Dukes beat Duke and go be a Cinderella? You know what? I really can't do it. I think Duke's going to win that game. I think Duke will get by. James Madison, do I pick them? I really don't know. I'm going to play safe. I'm going to go Duke. If James Madison beats Wisconsin and then they actually beat Duke, I'm going to be pissed I didn't pick them. We got NC State and we got Kentucky. I'm going to go with Kentucky to win this game. Even though NC State showed a lot of heart the way they won the ACC, I think Kentucky can get by, though. Actually, why do I want to pick NC State? Why do I want to do it? This is where I'm going to fuck up my bracket, and I'm just going to have a little bit of fun with it. Like I said, we're going to have fun with it. I think NC State can actually beat Kentucky. I really do think NC State can beat Kentucky. When NC State gets rolling and they have the vibe going, they can beat almost anybody. And I think Kentucky's one of those teams that they can beat. We got Marquette and we got Florida. I think Marquette's going to be able to get that dub. I think Florida's going to make it fun, but I think Marquette's going to get the dub. We got the East region. We got UConn and FAU. UConn, they are probably proclaimed already as the national champions this year. I think UConn is going to have no problem getting that win. They're going to make it a fun game, but they will win that game. We got San Diego State and Auburn. Again, I think Auburn's going to be able to win that game. We got BYU and Morehead State. This is where, do I have a couple of Cinderellas going? Do we have BYU lose this game? Do we have a Morehead State win? Like, how do we go about this? I think BYU will win this game. I think Morehead State, they had a fun time winning that first game, but I think BYU will get the dub there. We got Washington State and we got Iowa State. Iowa State, the way they're playing, they are, it's going to take a really, really good-ass team to beat them. Let's scroll down. We got the Midwest. Let's go to the round of 32 for them. We got Purdue and Utah State. Purdue, Oh, they got the size. I think Utah State, they don't really have much size with them, or if they do, correct me in the comments. But I think Purdue, they're going to be able to get that win. As long as Zach Edey can stay in the paint, just keep on just bitching everybody, they can get that win. Utah State, they got shooters, they got some perimeter guys. They can make space, they can create space, get some assists. They can do a lot of things. But if they can't shut down Zach Edey, you can't win the game. We got Gonzaga and Kansas. Kansas has had an up and down year, even though they have a good record this year. When you watch the games, some games where they win, it's like, man, that's the Kansas we want to see. And there's other games where it's like, what the hell is happening here? Gonzaga and Kansas playing in the round of 32 is something we would have thought 5 years ago would have been nuts. Usually this right here is like a national championship or at least a Final Four matchup, not a round of 32. With this being said, I'm going to take Gonzaga to win that game. We got Oregon and we got Creighton. Do I dare say Creighton's going to win this game? Because I really do think they can. But I'm going to say Oregon mainly because of just the wave of how they're kind of going, the emotions. We got Tennessee, and like I said, if Virginia wins, they're beating Texas. And then from here, I don't think either team can beat Tennessee. I think Tennessee will win that game. And then we got the Western region of the round of 32. We got North Carolina and Michigan State. It's going to be a good game, but I think North Carolina will win that game. Grand Canyon and Alabama. I think Alabama will be able to win that game. Grand Canyon, great win, like I said, but Alabama will get that win. We got Clemson and we got Baylor. Clemson and Baylor, two good teams, but I think Baylor will get that win. I realize I'm picking some favorites here, but I think it's going to happen. And then Dayton and Arizona. Everybody says Arizona is probably going to get to the national championship or get to at least the Final Four. I'm going to ride the wave so far. Let's move on to the Sweet 16. We got the Southern region. We got Houston and Duke. Duke, good run, but I think Houston will be able to get the win there. They're going to have to make some things happen. I think Houston, the way they lost in the Big 12 championship game, they're going to be pissed off, and like they're going to have to go on a run here just to prove everybody and say, hey, we are still the fucking kings of this place. And then we got NC State and we got Marquette. I think NC State had a good-ass run, but do I think they could beat Marquette? Marquette's a good-ass school. They are a good basketball team, but something tells me NC State's going to get that win. I don't know why, but I'm just going with it. We got UConn and we got Auburn. Do I dare pick Auburn to upset UConn with the way Auburn's playing right now? I don't think so. I think UConn will win that game. They're going to go back to the Elite Eight. And then next up, this is where I'm actually going to make an upset. I think BYU can beat Iowa State. I feel like everybody, whenever the brackets were kind of made, everybody was like, oh my God, Iowa or UConn and Iowa State playing in the Elite Eight for the chance to go to the Final Four. That's going to be nuts matchup. I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be UConn and BYU. Let's come down here to the Midwest. We got the Midwest Sweet 16. We got Purdue and Gonzaga. Do I think Gonzaga can beat Purdue? Yes. Do I think Purdue can beat Gonzaga? Yes. I think both teams can win this game. But like I said, if you got size, you're going to beat Purdue. If you don't got size, you ain't beating Purdue. Does Gonzaga got size? I think they do. Oh, do I pick them though? I just don't think I can see Purdue winning it all. They're this team that they have it all every single year. They got shooters, they got the size, they got defense, they got offense, they got everything. It's just they always come up short. I think Gonzaga is going to upset them. We got Oregon, we got Tennessee. I think Tennessee is a great team, but do they beat Oregon? And I think Oregon, like I said, they got the run, the momentum right now. Oregon's going to win that game. Let's go over to the West. We got North Carolina, we got Alabama. Does Alabama upset North Carolina, though? I think Alabama actually has what it takes to beat North Carolina, and I realize everybody's going to say Alabama's a football school. Not in this world. I think Alabama can be a basketball school and take down North Carolina. We got Baylor and we got Arizona. I think Baylor had a good run right there, but I think Arizona's going to get the win. And now we got the Elite Eight. Let's go with the East. Let's go with East first. We got UConn and BYU. I think BYU, great run, but I think UConn's going to keep it rolling. They're just too good right now. We got Houston and NC State. This is what I'm going to shock the world. This might be a dumbass pick. I might be making it dumb, going all the way back here. Like, I should have said Marquette probably winning the game, but I really think NC State can go the whole way. Like I said, some of these picks, I don't know why I'm picking it. I'm just going with it. And then down here, we got the Midwest. Let's go with Gonzaga and Oregon. We got a good matchup, but do I think an 11 seed is going to the Final Four against Gonzaga? I think Oregon can actually win that game. And then over here in the West, in the Elite Eight, I think Alabama and Arizona is going to be a classic matchup if it happens. But I think, realistically, just going with my gut, I think Alabama could actually win that game. And then the chaos of my bracket, we got the Final Four. I realize this is going to happen. I'm just having fun, like I said. But Final Four, we got UConn and Alabama, and we got NC State and Oregon. I only got one seed. Purdue, obviously, like I said, got knocked out in my bracket against Gonzaga. And then North Carolina got knocked out against Alabama over here. And then, like I said, we got NC State knocking out Houston. So only one seed is getting to the Final Four. And now that we have the Final Four matchups, like I said, UConn and Alabama, good-ass matchup. UConn's going to win that game. And then we got NC State and Oregon. I think NC State can actually win that game. I think this will be a good matchup. But I think UConn is going to then win the national championship. They're going to be back-to-back winners. And tiebreaker, how many total points will be scored in the championship game? So between the two teams, I'm going to say it's going to be something like a 74 to like a 60 matchup. So let's go upwards of like 100 and let's go 130 points just to be safe. I think 133 points is what I'll go with. But real quick, before I submit my bracket, I'm gonna let you guys kind of look at it all over. You guys can see the entire bracket. I'll kind of scroll here. You can kind of screenshot, or like if you want to pause the video and just look at my bracket if you want to check it out real quick. But that's gonna do it for my 2024 men's college basketball March Madness bracket. Hopefully you guys did go and enjoy today's video. If you did enjoy, as always, make sure you can drop a like onto this video. Be very much appreciated if you do so. If you wanted to watch the entirety of today's video, thank you very much. And like I said, if you have a different opinion, if you think I made a bad pick, good pick, if you disagree with any of the picks I made, agree with any of the picks I made, and you want to leave your opinion down in the comment section down below, feel free to do so. If you're a fan of the content that I do post here and you want to go and hit that big red subscribe button, feel free to do so, and do not forget to hit that little notification bell to be notified the second I post. But without further ado, this has been Dylan Talk Sports. Have a great day. Peace.